Boom.
Boom. Right?
Boom. Perspective. What a word. Oh, that's cool that you're doing that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I am doing that. Man, I don't know that I can actually answer that one. In fact, we can raise both. I'm authentic.
Hey, welcome to Get Real Podcast. Get Real Estate.
That was a bad high five. Let's try it again.
And then that.
Oh, you want to do that too?
That and then the punch.
Okay. We still missed it.
Get Real Estate Podcast.
What's
So we
up?
got some real questions, we got real answers, and we got some real estate.
Okay.
That's
let's
what we
do
do
it.
here.
It's time to get real.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Unplanned. Just happened.
Kind of cool.
It just happened. Hey, no, we're excited to have you on.
Yeah.
Mr. Jason Martin, everybody. We didn't meet that long ago. I mean, I feel like I've known you for a couple years. Hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
It's been a good time. So we like interesting people on here. Hey, are we going to talk real estate? I mean, real estate's not that interesting, but we'll talk a little bit. Okay. But we're more interested in kind of your story and what you're about.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me. I befriended you as soon as I met you. You're just the type of dude you want to hang out with, a good soul, a good spirit, and I just connected with you right away, and here we are, a year and a half later doing a podcast.
Hey, I appreciate you being here, and we've been talking about this video thing together, trying to figure out, does video make sense for title? Does it make sense for your team? Does it make sense is it worth the time? That's an interesting question. I think it's something we're all still figuring out.
Yeah,
right?
I had a real good conversation with Coffee with Coleman, John Coleman, the other day, and the amount of time he actually spends on his videos, like per video he shoots.
What is it?
He's spending about 15 hours a week on video shooting, production, editing, and you really do have to ask yourself, like, if you're in, you're in, and it's kind of like you kind of have to go all in to climb up in the video space if you're going to play it well. But man, it's a commitment.
It's that middle ground that doesn't work, right?
Yep.
I'm just going to do a little bit. You just don't do it or just do it. Right?
Yep.
And like you said, you have to commit to it because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, you do. But it is fun. But I think video, I love the potential that it has and how it actually delivers. Mm-hmm. I will literally walk around my neighborhood. And by the way, I don't actually think I'm good at video. I think John Coleman's awesome at video, Coffee with Coleman. But I'm dabbling in it. And it's funny because I'll walk around my neighborhood and I post a lot of sort of inspirational thoughts, not all real estate related, right? And almost daily people are like, oh, that's cool that you're doing that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I am doing that. Yeah. So what a great way to stay in front of people, and furthermore for us, it's just an authentic way to stay in front of people.
You kind of get to know people a bit.
Yeah.
Like even like me knowing you, like I watch your videos too, and they're like inspirational. And that was one of my questions today. What's the background with that? Like, where did that come from? How long have you been doing that? Like,
the inspirational part of it is it's kind of what. I'm into personal growth and I'm into personal development, and so whatever I learn, I'm like happy to share, and because I like to learn from other people too. So I'm like, if I can share a nugget or a tidbit with somebody that's 30 seconds in a real format and it has an impact on their day or just puts a smile on their face, that's cool to me. So I'm excited about that as a concept. So it's not forced. It's just something that I'm thinking about. It's something I'm learning about. It's something I'm active in, personal growth, personal development, and then I just kind of hit record and put it out there.
You're good at it. You were just helping me a little while ago, a little inspiration. Perspective. I mean, perspective is important, right?
Ooh, perspective. What a word.
I mean, especially when you're going through stuff. You know, it's like, man, but perspective's important.
Well, who doesn't go through stuff in their life, right? And so many times as we're going through stuff, hand raised, right? You can raise yours too. In fact, we can raise both of them. Perspective is... It's the way to kind of just break down whatever you're going through and just kind of reposition it a little bit, right? All right, cool. If this happens, then what? Is that the worst thing that can happen in my life at this moment? Are there people that, aren't as fortunate than I am? Like, perspective is a game changer. And then you go through it, and then not only that, but just trying to figure out a way to come out better on the other side. It may not feel like when you're in it that's ever going to happen. I mean, I'm sure you've had things happen in your life. I know I have for a fact that, like, when you're going through shit, right, you're like, oh man, is this, am I ever coming out of this? Or this is the worst spot in my life, right? And then you have you come out, and when you get out, you look back and you reflect and go, man, that was actually the springboard.
Yeah.
Right? So ability just to, hard to do in the moment, but ability to reflect and go, that moment that a higher power thought I needed to have happened to me. And because of that moment, this is where I am in my life. And I'm not always good at it, but I've been doing some reflecting.
It's key, and I think you brought up the other day, or just a little while ago, and I agree with this. Like, you can't, if you don't have perspective, you actually can't be healthy. Because if you're overstressed about everything and you're not living your life, then it's just a bad, little funnel you're going into. And you need to keep step forward one at a time, doing the things that you do.
Yep.
And perspective allows you to do that. Is it really that bad, right?
Right.
That's kind of
and most of the time it's not, and so just be okay with it.
I love it. Yeah. So like I said, we didn't meet that long ago, a couple years ago, and one thing I noticed when we met was like you were one of those thorough people, research thoroughness before we're going to start hanging out, working together, which I was very impressed with. Where did that thoroughness come from? Was that just something you've always been? Was it an experience? Like, tell me about it.
Yeah, experience, man.
Yeah.
Life, one of the benefits of life is it gives you a chance to experience a lot of different spots, right?
Yeah.
So experiential learning is, for better or worse, how I learn. Mm-hmm. And any time in my life, specifically on the business side, although I blend business and personal quite a bit, and we'll get into that in a second. But anytime you go through something or you make a decision, as a young real estate agent, I would try and grow a team, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm growing the team, and if you did units or production, you're welcome aboard. Like, let's go. You're a producer, let's go. In the rear view mirror, that's just not the right way to build something. Mm-hmm. The right way to build something is understand who the people are, what their core values are, what they want to get out of life. And that may be a little bit of a slower growth process, mm-hmm. but it's the way in which I've learned over the years to kind of do my due diligence on the front end, because it's going to save me time, and most likely it's going to save me money. And it's even more fun that way, because you actually get to know folks at a deeper level.
No, I like it. And now on one side, although you're thorough, I have other examples where you're willing to jump in.
Yeah.
What about the power video conference that we did, where you said, "Hey, Latney, 45 days from now, let's do a conference," and I'm like, "You mean like a conference where there's 100 people there and it's sold out?" And you said yes. And I was like, well, I guess we can give it a shot. And when you actually sold out that conference, so that was impressive. That was another one's coming up in October. Right?
It is, yeah. One's coming up October 17th, so hopefully this is released before then, and you guys can grab your tickets if it's not sold out. So the answer is, how do you, sometimes you jump into things, mm-hmm. That's your question. I will jump into something if I'm confident that the people I'm surrounded with mm-hmm. can pull it off. And so as that came down the chute, I was doing an interview with Levi Lassick. You may recognize him from YouTube. If you're in the real estate space, you more than likely do. And sold like 86 million in volume from his YouTube videos. And I'm doing a podcast like this with him. And I was like, man, we connected. And so we instantly connected and went from, man, I need to bring this guy to DC. And so I go, Levi, you should come to DC and speak. Mm-hmm. And the next day he's like, I'm in. So I'm like, well, I can't bring Levi here to DC to speak and not do something big. But I knew that, you know Katie Jeffcoat and people in our world, and Mariah, I'm surrounded by awesome people. So I knew that the people and yourself that I'm surrounded with could pull it off. And then I also knew that if I took too long to marinate on this thing, mm-hmm. I'll change my mind. Yeah. And that's a little trick I have for everybody. It's like, you have good thoughts, right? And what do you do with all of your good thoughts?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's funny because I have a similar thing, which is like, if I'm still excited about a good thought a week later, then it has real potential. Uh-huh. If it's like, if it's the next day and I was like, it's like, maybe it's not legit. Uh-huh. So that's kind of how I look at it.
So I have great thoughts when I'm exercising.
Yeah.
The brain's cranking, the ideas come. And one of the things I do after I exercise, and I haven't managed to do it while I'm exercising properly yet, but the best ideas I have are usually in the morning and usually when I'm exercising. Great. And so I have to document those, and then I force myself to execute on those mm-hmm. as quick as possible.
Love it.
So like, you think about reaching out to somebody, or somebody like, oh, they won't want to talk to me or anything like that. I will literally get off the treadmill and reach out to that person before fear has the opportunity to set in my brain.
There's definitely something. First, the exercising thing. I mean, just has changed my perspective on exercise. I used to hate exercise. Now it's a pure anxiety thing. I don't do it for the actual exercise, but not only anxiety, but then, like you said, the idea flow.
Yeah,
you're getting the whatever it is that's producing is definitely creating those ideas. I like that concept of like writing those ideas down afterwards, so they're not forgotten about.
You got to go. You got to go. You got to get them out of your head and into practice.
It's a good idea. You know, we talked about life experiences, the good and bad. Lots of things happen. A question that we're asking everyone: have you had a time in your life where you're curled up in a ball, ready to give up? Did you give up? Did you not give up? Was it this industry or another? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I've built teams for 20 years now, or 18 years. And so many times you're like, why don't I just be a solo agent, right? Yeah. And that's cool too, by the way. If you're a solo agent listening, that's awesome too, and that works. Why am I building this thing? And so, yeah, if you're in the business long enough, you're definitely going to get kicked. Many times.
Why did you choose that? Why did you choose the teams versus the solo for yourself?
I think you got to have clarity on what you want in your life and what you want your life to look like. And for me, I knew that I wanted to lead people. I know that I want to help people. And whether it be clients or team members, that's a passion of mine. So I like to be able to play in spaces in life and work that I'm excited about. And so real estate happens to be one of those sandboxes that I can play in both, right? So it provides for my family, and simultaneously it feeds my desire to genuinely help people.
I like it. Sometimes we said here before, like, you can over-strategize, you can overcomplicate things, taking a step back. What's the number one reason you think you've been successful?
I'm authentic. And that sounds like it almost feels uncomfortable just saying like I'm authentic, right? And it's uncomfortable to say that because I don't like to put myself in the spot like that. But really, when I get together with people, I genuinely care about them, and I genuinely want them to succeed in life and or business. And I think people can pick up on that true energy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I know you've been involved with lots of businesses over the years. What is your current philosophy on, is it, doing multiple businesses at once versus one business versus a certain category? How do you look at that? What's your take on it?
Oh, man. That's a question I don't have the perfect answer to. I like to think that I'm a true entrepreneur at heart, and that every business I touch is going to thrive. But the reality of it for me, I think that I am an entrepreneur, and I do think any other business that I touch can thrive. But what I've learned with myself over the years is you really have to be focused on one, and if that one is in the same space as others, it can work.
Yeah.
And then if you try and play in a different space while trying to really get the other one to a spot, it's hard. So I think you can play in different spaces, but you better have the other one, the primary one, we'll call it, well-structured, well-oiled before you play in those spaces. And the mistake I made in the past 10 years is the first one needs love. Yeah. So now I'm going to go give love to another one, and then now I'm just dividing it, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I had a sport and social club at one time, so we ran adult sports leagues, and then we started a Halloween business. No relation, no connection. Didn't work out. The second one never worked out. It was okay, but at the end of the day, I that is my take on it, and I'm in agreement with you. If it's the same industry and they tie together and help each other, then it's interesting.
Yeah.
But I still try to be careful. I've tried to just focus on title because that is what's paying the bills.
Exactly. So exactly. That's the way to go. But you can also dabble, if you're fortunate enough financially, you can dabble in other businesses, meaning you can buy investment properties or multi-unit properties. That's also in the same space, by the way. But just as a concept, if you need to feed a creative urge, you can dabble in
it's a good way. Investing a little different than running a true business, unless you're actually handling all the booking. So I agree with you. All right, so let's get real here. What's the most painful business experience you've ever had?
Man, I don't know that I can actually answer that one on the fly. other than to say I've made a million mistakes and they're all painful, but over the years they become less painful as you internalize how to deal with stuff as it comes down at you, right? Like, so I remember. Okay, I'll give you a good example. Yeah, I'll give you a good example. Early in my career, knock on wood, 20 years in real estate. This table's not wood, so I don't know why I just knocked on it. But early in my career, we've thankfully never been involved in any litigation in 20 years. And that's something we're super proud of in real estate, because it's an easy business to get tangled up in. And I remember one time a client wasn't happy with their purchase and blamed me and blamed the inspector and like was just ready to take it to the mat. Yeah. And man, that hurt. It hurt because I felt like we gave the best service possible. We gave a monster inspection list. We did everything, and quite frankly, if I remember it correctly, I even advised maybe you should walk away from this one, but that didn't stick. And so that one I remember it very vividly because it hurt, and like we did everything that we thought we could do in the right format, and it still came into me, and I internalized that. So that one stunk. But
you kind of remember when you were playing sports growing up. That pass you dropped, not the touchdown you had. Some of the pain, right?
Yeah.
So kind of similar.
You remember the losses a lot. The
other thing though is you kind of brought it up, and I think this is something too. As you get older and you start experiencing challenges, you learn how to almost systematically deal with challenges. Like, here's another challenge. Let's just do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Versus when you're younger, it's more probably painful. You don't have the experience. You don't have to deal with things that pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah, we are put through. I don't want to get spiritual on you, but we are put through tests in life for a reason.
Right.
For a reason. We may not know what that reason is at the time, but you're going to get tested again.
Yeah, well said. So I've been to your team meetings. Didn't feel like a real estate meeting. I mean, it was great. People were hanging out, chilling, getting along. People were helping each other out with life and non-real estate things. It was really cool team setting format. How did that get created?
Yeah, it's the core belief that the life you want to live, right, should be the primary focus. And you can build a business around that. I think so many people go business first as their foundation and then try and build the life. We make it a priority to say, hey, match your life to your business, right? And focus on that. So we will never not focus on that. And I don't care if people want to do 100 homes a year or 12 homes a year, but I do want to know what type of life they want to live. So if you're going to do that, you gotta live it. Yeah. You gotta live it, and they feel that. And they like that.
Sure.
It's a good way to go.
It's a great environment. You can see just how people interact and trust each other. You've created the life you want to live within the business. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
It's never easy. It's always a challenge. It's always a process to figure out. We do it on a constant basis too, trying to figure it out.
You want to have a fun question?
Well, let's do it.
All right. What would you do if you were no longer in the title business?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, I would say that's a really good question. I don't know if I know the answer. My background's marketing-ish stuff. With that said, like I said, I had a Halloween business. Not about fun, but I enjoyed the marketing process of that, right? So Sport and Social Club. So, I think what I would probably look for, I'd probably look for an outdated industry. And see if we can make it a little fun. Okay. That's kind of been what we did in the Sport and Social Club and what we've tried to do in Title. So I would be, what's that next outdated industry?
So you mean to tell me you would take everything you've learned in your life up until this point and be able to pivot that into something else?
I think that's exactly what I said.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Hey, look, you're a busy guy. I had to fight to get you in here because you got a lot going on. I'm going to get you out of here. Our people are busy. We like to be short and to the point and get great questions. So I appreciate you coming today.
Yeah.
Much better shake on the way out.
Okay, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Hey, if anybody wants to hit me up.
Yeah.
I'll do calls, I'll do meetings, we can meet in person. You just want to talk about your real estate business or You want to talk about life? I'm here for that too. So
what's the great place to find you?
You can catch me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Jason D. Martin 5. You can catch me on both of those spots. But really, if you want to text me, we can set something up too. 202-641-0299. We'll throw that number up there.
I love it.
Shoot me a text.
It's worth the time. I always learn something when I'm with you. So cool, I appreciate you coming on here, and thanks so much for everything.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, buddy.